Hey guys, Eric here with another review. Like I said last time, I'm looking at the Mcfarlane Toys DC Universe Batman -1, the Devastator versus Superman. But before we get too much into the figures, let's take a look at that artwork. The artwork on the box. Here I am with the box for the figures. You can see here DC Multiverse, Batman Earth -1, and Superman. They do have, each of them have cards right here, and it's actually just a photo of the figure. You can see the base right there. The two bases, you know what I mean? The artwork is actually like printed on here. I don't know if you can see it too well, but there is like really nice printing of like rocks being strewn about right there. You can see a little bit, just a bit. And we have DC, Dark Knight's Metal, Batman, Superman, Earth -1, and here is the artwork on the back. And this is actually very reminiscent of the artwork. I'll put that up right now. So yeah, guys, that was the box. Real quick, here's the other figures on the line. I reviewed him. I've seen all these actually. Anyway, guys, now let's take a look at the figures real quick. Here we are, and I'm taking a look at the Superman first since he is not the showpiece. Anyway, if I'm right, I'm not sure if this is true. If this is a Superman from Earth -1, then he is technically a villain. So a little bit backstory: Batman becomes the Devastator because Superman went rogue, like in Injustice. You guys know what that is? He becomes evil, so this would be an evil Superman, and Batman is fighting to protect Earth -1. Anyway, though, this does look just like that artwork in the comic. I'll show you guys right now. This head sculpt is done immaculately. Mcfarlane Toys definitely knows how to make figures and how to paint them. You can see very, very nicely painted here. He does have sculpted teeth. His eyes are done up very well. Hair sculpt is looking really nice. Ears, he does have blue shading. I don't know if you guys can see it just a little bit of blue shading. The Superman logo is shiny metallic red with a matte, very light lemony yellow. He doesn't really have any shading on the body, but it is sculpted very nicely. You guys can see some of these suit lines right here. Those are actually sculpted on detail. It does run along the other shoulder as well, and the shoulder joints right up here. I want to say down the arm, but not really down the arm. He does have sculpted little things at his wrist. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be silver or not, but it is sculpted on the other side. A little bit more modern take on Superman. He does have that same texture going on here, and he actually is textured right here. You guys can see that too well. Yeah, you guys can see it on camera a little bit. That like fin-like texture, not fin, but like scale or chainmail type of texture is there, and on the other side as well. You can see here more of that sculpting on the side. Basic red bottoms, no paint sculpting here, nothing really on the leg except for these seams going down the side. On both sides, he does have a little bit of the boot sculpt right here. No treads. The cape is done very nicely. It is a nice soft plastic. It doesn't hinder the articulation too much at all. This definitely is a really solid figure, but definitely not the showpiece item. Now, let's get into his articulation. So articulation for the Superman is as follows. It is really nice, actually. Nothing too special, but, it works. Head does go upwards, down, that much, up and down, little left and right, side to side. 360 is a bit hindered by his chin sculpt, but not too bad. He does have this butterfly type of ball joint going into the torso. You guys can see that right here. Anyway, arms do go up about that far for both sides. Do go down, forward, upwards, backwards a little bit, hindered by the cape just a little bit. He does have an upper bicep swivel. It is a little bit hard to turn because of the sculpt of his shoulder and his chest, but not too bad. Single jointed elbow about that far, maybe a little bit 45. Same thing on the other side. He does have one fist hand, sculpted really nicely and painted very well. You can see that. And he does have this like pained hand. He is sculpted really nicely. You guys can see that. Even sculpted little fingernails. This is like an expression you get like punched in the gut and you go like, that hurt. That's kind of the thing he's doing here. Anyways, the ball joint in here can be rotated. You guys can see that. Oh, hand is popping off. It's not supposed to happen. Anyways, hand does go down, up. It rotates at the actual hand and at the wrist joint. You just saw earlier. Rotate that. Same thing on the other side. Just like so. The torso does go back a little bit. Forward, side to side, a little bit of 360. universal ball joint. The legs do go forward about that far. Out. It does go farther out than forward, but you don't really need to be super agile with Superman. It does have a really nice solid double jointed knee. It does go back super far. The foot does rotate. It does go up, down. It does have a nice ankle pivot and a toe joint. It actually kind of messes up the sculpt here. I don't know if you guys can see a little stress mark right there, but the way the boot is, it's kind of cut super weird with the joint. You guys can see that, you know, going up, we'll stress that part right there, but, you know, nothing too bad from that. Anyway, guys, that was the Superman. Now, let's look at the Devastator. And here we are back with the actual showpiece figure. This is Batman the Devastator, Batman Earth -1, the Dark Knight's Metal. This is probably one of the nicest figures Mcfarlane has ever done. I can only compare it, if anything, to the Azrael I have, some of the Mortal Kombat figures, and definitely my Hell Batsuit Batman. That's how nice this thing is. I just keep gushing on it because it's so nice. It's really cool that they made this into a 2-pack thing. You know, I didn't have a Superman, but now I do. But this thing has gone like beyond, you know, Mcfarlane, bro. This blows any figure I have right now out of the water. And that is a super, like, being honest truth. Anyway, let's take a little bit closer look at his sculpt and stuff. Here I am back, guys. I raised the camera just a little bit up to get a better look at all his detail. First of all, let's take a look at his face. This honestly looks just like the artwork off those comic books. I really do love that these things are accurate to the T for represent like accuracy in figures, you know what I mean? And since this being a comic book figure, it looks awesome. You can see it does have a really nice like red glow effect, like pinkish, peachish red glow effect around the eyes. I believe he's firing off lasers, I'm not sure, but the sculpting detail is insane. You can see all those little teeth in there. You guys can see that really nicely. It's shaded really nicely here on the face. You know, you can see all these spikes protruding off of him. His nose going around like a little beard right here. You know, the teeth are painted yellow. The nose is sculpted super nicely. A lot of wrinkles here. He actually does have like little bat ears due to the Doomsday virus that's inside him. That looks really nice. He does have spikes protruding, soft plastic spikes, by the way, protruding out of his shoulders, out of his forearms and elbows, his hands right here, and his shins. Anyway, let's look at a little bit more of the sculpt. You can see here that evil Dark Knight's bat symbol. It does look really nice. This sculpt is super nice. I was kind of hesitant to buy this because I didn't, you know, a lot of these Mcfarlane figures are really nice, but they don't really have shading like the Superman, but the shading and sculpting of this, it's insane. You see he has that very rocky texture here. A lot of like blues and blacks mixed in here. I do like this is just a solid, like really bright color. You can see some of his original suit ripped off of right here. Let's look at the arms now. A lot of spikes protruding off the side. Same thing here. More of the ripped suit on the arms right here. Backside, pretty much same thing. You got this big spine going down right here. I do love that the sculpting is even into the, like, how do you call it? Butterfly joint articulation. Anyways, you can see that way more sculpting, ripped up suit. Really nice ripped up suit. The shorts, you can see it goes all the way down to the legs with that really nice rocky texture. It is a little bit different on the arms. You can see that these spikes, even though they're nice rubber, they are sculpted on really nicely. You can see that there. Really nice. And what's really cool about this figure is that the articulation is basically hidden inside the sculpt. You can see here. I do believe they're different on either side. These are those little talons on the side of Batman's gauntlets, where his arms would. Yeah, they're a little bit different placement. Going to the ones on the shins, you can see here, same thing. Same thing on the other side. Really nice sculpted, ripped pants. They sculpted, you know, they painted right here as if it was looking through. It does look really nice. One last turnaround. This is definitely one of the nicest figures I have. That's it for the sculpting. Now let's check out his articulation. So Batman the Devastator is super nice to look at. He's definitely the showpiece of this 2-pack, but he's a little bit hard to move. I'll show you guys why. The head does move pretty nicely. You know, it is kind of sitting at like an angle. You know, his head would normally be here, right? But it's right here, so he can look forward. Anyways, it does rotate a little bit left and right, up just a little bit, down, The mouth does open. You guys can see that. Nothing really in there. There's a tongue. That's about it. Arms can go all the way around. Both sides. Sorry, guys. He does have this really nice barbell joint, like I said, butterfly joint. But the arms do go out. It is really hard due to the sculpt. That's probably the farthest I'll go. Oh, it's got really loose on this side, but it's really, really difficult to do the arms down, though. Anyway, they go in and out. The elbow does bend on both sides. Like I said, here more of that really nice sculpting with the joint. That's about as far back as it goes, but it does bend on either side. A little bit harder on this side. See here it ratchets. It does rotate right here at both hands at an angle. This hand moves downward, you can see here. Upwards, same thing on the other side. Upwards and downwards, and it is a sculpted, one sculpted fist and a sculpted holding hand. Real quick, take a look at those hands. It does have really, really big claws on there. You can see that inside in the fist. The chest doesn't really move forward or backwards. A little bit side to side, but mostly at the waist. The legs do move forward just a little bit, both sides. A little bit more on this side, since the shorts are a little bit less. They do go out quite a bit, really, really nice. It does have a single jointed knee on both sides, like so. It's getting really easier to move, guys. A rotation right at the knee, but mostly like at the shin type of thing. The foot does go upwards on both sides. And like I said, it's sculpted really nicely. See that right there. He does have an ankle pivot. It's really hard to do because of the sculpt for the ankle pivot. And the toes do bend all the way back. Speaking of toes, there you go. Anyway, guys, these two figures do come a little bit more. So that was your articulation. Now let's get on to something else that it comes with. So this 2-pack does come with like an action base, a stand. It is literally ripped straight off the artwork and the box work. This is it's supposed to be Batman Devastator beating up Superman right here. This thing is sculpted insanely. It is hollow plastic underneath. You guys can see that. But the paintwork and sculpt is immaculate. You know, these are like, I would say Doomsday spikes going into the ground. This is when he steps down really hard. You can see this thing is sculpted insanely, and the paint is awesome. It is very, very light, by the way. You can see there's a peg hole right there, but take a quick look at those rocks. It's sculpted like concrete, you know, or painted like concrete. Cracked earth right here, and like a spike. I'm thinking this is a Doomsday spike. You know, this was the base. I'll show you guys how to put these figures on. So Batman has 2 peg holes in either feet, but I believe it is this one. We're just gonna peg him down right here. He should stand. It is really, really hard to get him to do this. See that? You know, it's gonna end up looking something like this. You know what I mean? He's got Batman in the running pose. You guys can see that right there. And he's like attacking the Superman. It is really, really difficult getting him onto the stand and bouncing him because he's so gigantic. But it honestly could be worse. It really doesn't look that bad. Now let's get on to some size comparisons. So here you have Superman next to Saint Seiya. You can see he's a little bit bigger. Sorry guys, he does not stand, so I gotta bounce him against the wall. There he is next to another DC Mcfarlane figure, Azrael Batman, or just Azrael from Batman. And lastly, here he is next to the other figure in this 2-pack, the Doomsday Batman. Here's the Batman next to a 6.5-inch figure, Saint Seiya. You can see how big he is compared to them. There he is next to another DC figure, Azrael, the same line. Here I am, guys, with my final thoughts. I got a really cool little fighting battle angle right here. These figures are not bad, honestly. If you are a big DC fan, I would say find it. I am genuinely a collector of whatever I think looks cool, and I really like this. Mcfarlane is definitely blowing away with these figures. If you can find it at retail, I don't know if this is a GameStop exclusive, but so far I've only seen it there. This is definitely a really good buy. I really only bought it for the Devastator, but the Superman is also very solid. Thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the MN Toy Posse if you're local. Recommend me to friends if you want. Stay tuned for the next review, guys. Take care. Peace.